investigating for you. This is News 4 Tucson, live at 10.
Good evening, everybody. We start with a developing story. He scored 2 touchdowns in yesterday's duel in the desert game. And tonight, University of Arizona wide receiver Samaje Grant faces charges of driving under the influence of drugs. He was arrested overnight after a sheriff's deputy pulled him over near Campbell and 3rd Street. The deputy, we're told, got a whiff of marijuana when he approached the car and asked Grant to step outside. There were 6 others in that vehicle. PCSD says Grant did cooperate with the investigation. He is now facing DUI as well as 3 other charges. News 4 Tucson Sam Salzwedel joins us now on how the fans and the Arizona Athletic Department are reacting. Sam?
Well, Sean, a total of 28 people are facing charges after last night's DUI patrols across town, but one of them happens to be a star football player.
I caught the ball, and to be honest, I just ran. I played just how I played when I was a little kid, running across the field, and it worked out. I ain't planned it or nothing, it happened.
That's Samaje Grant after the biggest game of his life. A little while later, he got pulled over, not far from the stadium. He was cited on suspicion of driving under the influence. Some fans are sympathetic, knowing he's only a sophomore.
I would personally be upset, yeah, if he got suspended. But, I mean, you have to deal with the consequences that come along with that.
He was probably just trying to have fun, like celebrate a good win,
That's a tough one. I mean, he shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't get behind the wheel when you've been drinking, but I don't think the kid should be crucified.
Head coach Rich Rodriguez released a statement. We expect this to be an isolated incident, and he won't be starting in the Pac-12 championship game. Athletic director Greg Byrne said in a statement, "We're extremely disappointed in Samaje, and he will be undergoing counseling and taking part in community service as a result of his actions." Some Facebook users were more harsh. One wrote, "Stupid. Any cabbie in Tucson would have driven them around all night like rock stars." Another wrote, "When will people learn? 40 years ago, I lost my brother for the stupidity of a drunk driver." Samaje Grant posted to Twitter, "I'm sorry, Mom." And there's still no definite answer about what's next for Grant. The football team scheduled a news conference before this story came out, and that's an issue that will likely come up tomorrow. Sean?
All right, thank you, Sam. Well, tonight, the Southern Arizona DUI Task Force will be on the lookout for drunk drivers. You're looking at a live view at a sobriety checkpoint. Folks, be safe out there, and remember, if you plan to drink, always have a designated driver. Well, new at 10, a Sierra Vista man taken to a hospital for serious trauma after a motorcycle accident. It happened on Charleston Road at milepost 2.1. The Cochise County Sheriff's Office says the 54-year-old man bumped the back of the motorcycle in front of him, causing his own bike to crash. He was thrown 10 feet. The 52-year-old man riding on the other motorcycle was taken to the Sierra Vista Police Department on suspicion of DUI. Also, 3 people in the hospital tonight after a motorcyclist hit a pedestrian on the west side. The driver suffering from life-threatening injuries. It happened near St. Mary's and Grande. Tucson police say a man and woman were riding westbound on St. Mary's when a man stepped out in front of them. They tried to swerve but could not avoid hitting the man. The pedestrian got some road rash. Neither the driver or the passenger were wearing helmets, and both suffered head injuries. An emergency room physician in Yuma and his wife fatally shot by their 22-year-old son, according to San Diego police. David and Alyssa Haynes died today after they were found with multiple gunshot wounds in a San Diego home. Their son, Peter Haynes, was arrested hours later after police spotted him trying to slip under the police tape nearby.
It was another warm day for your long holiday weekend, our 3rd straight here in Tucson with daytime highs at or above 80 degrees. Temperatures slow to cool this evening. We're still in the upper 50s and low 60s across the metro, so a pretty mild one for us. 61 right there at the airport. It's 58 right here on top of our KVOA Midtown studios, but some cooler places across Cochise County, actually dipping down into the low to mid 40s across the Sulphur Springs Valley from Wilcox right on over to Douglas. But it's that high pressure ridge that's been holding strong for the past few days that's been keeping those temperatures well above average. Well, it's finally going to start to break down over the next couple of days and bring us some cooler times ahead. Your Sunday looks like this. 40s and 50s will get your day started, and yeah, a little cooler yet tomorrow. We'll be topping out in the mid to upper 70s, and those temperatures are going to continue to drop as we head on into your upcoming work week. Details on that in just a bit, Sean.
All right, we'll see you then, John. With one of the busiest shopping days of the year for the big retailers now behind us, today consumers were urged to shop small instead. All for Small Business Saturday. The national movement kicked off just 4 years ago, encouraging consumers to put their money back into the community. Organizers say when you spend it there, it stays there. And some statistics back that up. If you spend $100 at a local store, $73 is reinvested in the community. But when you spend $100 somewhere that isn't locally owned, only $43 stay in the community. Well, last year, Americans spent almost $6 billion at small businesses. Well, it's an event that your eccentric uncle could have participated in this Thanksgiving weekend. It's the Ugly Sweater Run, all to benefit Marana High School. Supporters donned their best, or I should say worst, holiday sweaters to participate in the first ever Ugly Sweater 5K Walk Run. Money raised today will help fund clubs and sports at the high school, as well as the district's holiday share program.
Today we're doing our first annual MHS Ugly Christmas Sweater Run, basically to bring the community together for a huge community event. Then right after the run we're having our annual Turkey Bowl, which is a football game with the alumni of our school.
Over 200 people took part in the run walk. The Ugly Sweater 5K will now be part of the annual Turkey Bowl that has taken place at Marana High School for the last 20 years. Well, up next at 10, the Ferguson police officer who shot teenager Michael Brown resigns. How the city is reacting to that news. Plus, what activists in Mexico are doing to catch the attention of authorities. They say they're not doing enough to find 43 missing students. Keep it here. News 4 at 10. We'll be right back.
Investigating for you. This is News 4 Tucson.